Tonight, a mining announcement with potential for hundreds of new jobs. And Regional SA celebrates International Women's Day in Port Pirie.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Casey Treelaw begins now.
Good evening. The Upper Spencer Gulf could see the potential for hundreds of new jobs and a major economic boom. It comes with Oz Minerals confirming an investigation into a $1 billion expansion of its Carrapateena copper mine.
Potential for hundreds of new jobs across the region. The Carrapateena copper mine is still months away from beginning production, but Oz Minerals is already looking to phase 2. Its $1 billion baby could be getting a further $1 billion expansion as the company commits to a feasibility study.
It's quite an exciting time for us. It demonstrates that the future of Carrapateena is brighter.
They've monitored the copper ore body for years, with recent analysis confirming its quality. If approved, it would more than double production, from 60 to up to 125,000 tonnes per year. Extra jobs would be created, with Mr Cole looking to our region to fill the gaps.
The teams here really think about local communities first, and a Carrapateena expansion is going to help that.
Eddie Hughes says the investment would be good news for the Upper Spencer Gulf.
Generate long-term jobs for our region, which is something that we very much look forward to.
However, there's still 3 years of work left before final approval is granted.
It'll be about 2022 or 2023 thereabouts when we start to see that construction activity occur.
John Hunt, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A 16-year-old Whyalla boy will face court after a car pursuit on Wednesday morning. Police spotted a car on George Avenue driving without plates just after 9:30 a.m. The driver sped off with a short chase occurring on McBride Terrace. After identifying the driver, police stopped the pursuit and arrested him at his home. He was charged with numerous driving offences and was bailed to appear in the youth court in April. Police in the far north have nabbed a speeding driver south of Pimba after he was clocked travelling at 188 kilometres an hour. The 29-year-old man from Western Australia was caught 78 kilometres over the legal limit. He was reported for excessive speed and issued with an instant loss of licence for 6 months. A Port Lincoln children's charity, Little Bags of Hope, has been the target of thieves this week, with clothes and toys raided from its supply shed. Organisers say it's unknown how much has been stolen, but it's estimated to be worth thousands of dollars.
It's really disappointing because this is, hundreds of children that can be affected by not being able to provide those bags and not having the things we need to give to them.
The organisation has taken to social media to try and raise funds to replace the stolen items. The Broken Hill Musicians Club has protected its staff from potential penalty rate cuts with the adoption of a landmark enterprise agreement. It's a major milestone for the venue after it was plunged into administration 4 years ago.
Keeping their penalty rates, it's something to smile about.
They're our number one asset, so they need to be looked after because there won't be a club without them.
This week, Broken Hill Musicians Club staff members voted on adopting an enterprise agreement.
It covers everything. An award would cover while you're at work, but it's been negotiated by the staff and the union.
The decision came after growing concerns that its national umbrella body, Clubs Australia, was planning to have penalty rates cut for club employees.
We had feedback sessions with the staff and their union, and the process was very well done, and we had the support of the union right from the start.
The vote on the agreement was passed with 100% of staff saying yes, meaning they will keep their vital penalty rates. Mr Boland says it's great to see employees, the union and the employer all working together for a common goal. It's a major celebration for a business that almost closed in 2014.
Yes, it gets renegotiated in 3 years. The club will be in an even stronger position, so I'm looking forward to giving back even more back to the staff that have worked hard over by that time, nearly a decade.
Patrick Ryankey, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Centre Alliance Senator Rex Patrick is fighting against plans for seismic testing in the Great Australian Bight. The testing involves firing sound waves into the ocean floor to detect the presence of oil and gas, with Offshore Environmental Management Authority, NOPSEMA, approving the testing.
When the report came out as to how they were going to conduct the seismic surveying, I examined that report and I've found an area of concern, which I then raised with NOPSEMA at Senate estimates.
The Senator says NOPSEMA has acknowledged his opinion as a formal complaint and is now finalising an official letter to the authority. Seismic testing is planned to go ahead from September to November this year. The South Australian Labor Party is today calling on the Marshall government to immediately release the Eyre Peninsula freight strategy. It comes after Viterra's announcement it'll no longer use local railways to transport grain. Its report could potentially include options on how to keep Viterra using the rail network. The joint report was written by the Department of Transport and rail operator Genesee in Wyoming. The Labor government saying the Eyre Peninsula should be able to see the report and know what could have been done to save the railways. Regional communities came together to celebrate International Women's Day today, with Port Pirie hosting a local luncheon. 2 guest speakers from India took to the stage to share the story of their missionary work supporting female prisoners in Port Augusta.
International Women's Day is a time to celebrate our local ladies.
International Women's Day celebrates suffrage, it also celebrates workers' rights, it also commemorates women who've given their lives.
More than 100 women from Port Pirie took part in a luncheon at the local football club. Reflection on the past achievements and hardships was an inspiring reminder of how far women's rights in Australia has come.
We are celebrating what we're able to do today, which women back in the day couldn't. I mean, it's the 125th anniversary of women's suffrage this year.
For the Port Pirie sub-branch of the Soroptimist, it's also an opportunity to gain an international perspective.
Provide an annual event, and we also like to have an international flavour. Last year we had someone speaking about the Sudan.
2 guest speakers at today's event herald from the southern Indian city of Chennai. They're now working in Port Augusta, operating a program supporting women in prison.
We had an experience back in India working in the prison, so that was helpful for us to continue here, and we could help the women here as well.
Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, high school students put their shearing skills to the test, and we take a look inside the newly reopened Port Lincoln Cinema. Hello again. Health authorities are warning regional South Australians to get vaccinated against the influenza virus after a huge spike in the number of cases already this year. The number of those infected is more than double than this time last year.
It's a virus that can be rife during the colder months, but new figures showed that influenza is still spreading in the summer season.
We've got about 1,500 reports now of influenza.
Those numbers have more than doubled across South Australia than at the same time last year. Health authorities unsure if this means a horror flu season is coming.
We've just got a small blip, and we really need to see what the next couple of months have in store.
Last year there were over 28,000 cases in South Australia, including 30 deaths. This increase in virus cases to begin the year has SA Health pleading with people across the region to protect themselves.
And this really means for the public to get in and get your annual vaccine done.
Influenza has the ability to mutate each year, so a new vaccination for the disease is set to be available in early April. The most vulnerable, such as children, the elderly and pregnant women, are being urged to get the jab.
A very tangible step that you can take to stay healthy and to stay healthy as a community is to have a vaccination.
Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A group of high school students have taken to the shearers to gain valuable insight into the wool industry. The 2-day course has seen growing interest as well as an influx of female students.
These students certainly aren't sheepish about getting out of the classroom.
I saw it as a great opportunity to just get that little bit more knowledge of sheep and handling sheep.
For 19 students from St Mark's College, the 2-day course was a chance to tap into the local wool industry. To start off, it was a bit of a close shave, but a couple of days of practice makes perfect.
They're all getting fairly confident now. This is the second day and I don't even have to ask them, they're jumping in and they're doing it. So.
The course is growing in popularity, attracting more students each year.
It leads into a shearing school which we run in September, which is a 5-day course where students actually go and then learn how to shear as well.
And staff are impressed at the increasing amount of female students taking an interest in the traditionally male-dominated industry.
We've got quite a few girls that are shearing now, and there's a lot of wool handlers. If it wasn't for the girls doing the wool, I don't think they'll all ever get done.
Definitely there's lots of females going into the career now, and it would be something I would look at further.
The class will have an opportunity to run a week-long course later in spring. Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Golf News.
With a new look, Port Lincoln's 90-year-old cinema is set to reopen tonight since closing down for renovations in December. The Heritage Theatre set to air superhero film Captain Marvel, with doors opening from 7:30 this evening.
A new facelift for Port Lincoln's Heritage Cinema. Since closing for renovations in December, the regional silver screen is set to bring back the love of film to the coastal town.
I'm hoping that actually we can provide more for the community, so not just become a movie theatre, but actually become a place where people kind of want to spend some time.
Last night, the cinema celebrated with friends and family who have helped repair the historic building.
I've been lucky to have some friends that have got down dirty with me and made things happen.
It's a great thing for everyone, even as a family, to come together and enjoy.
The theatre was set to close for good last year until local Angela Perrin was determined to save the legacy and decided to purchase it with her family.
We're super excited about this being open again.
Peter Tukoski remembers coming to the theatre 60 years ago.
As a child, we all went to this and rolled Jaffas down the thing, and it just brings back so many memories.
With a fresh facelift, this 90-year-old building will be ready to entertain for many more generations to come.
So exciting. I love going to the theatre with my friends.
It will be all hands on deck as the cinema prepares to lift the curtain once again. Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Golf News.
One of the biggest events on the Broken Hill harness racing calendar will be ran tomorrow night. The Maltese Cup was supposed to be held at the recent local meeting in February, but a crash saw the race postponed. It's among 5 fixtures pencilled in at the track. The Broken Hill Harness Racing Club is preparing to wrap up its season next week with the annual Carnival of Cups Night. The event draws many interstate trainers to town, offering plenty of prize money. Whyalla petrol heads can get their fix this weekend at the Steel City Drag Club. The Strip will host a 2-day national event with cars coming from all over the country competing.
Around 800 horsepower goes into the noise of this beast. It's one of many cars to hit the Steel City Drag Club this week for its annual Nat Series event.
The time and money that the boys and girls spend on these vehicles is phenomenal. It's their pride and joy.
Entrants from all over the nation are in town ahead of tomorrow's opening day. Over 2 days, it'll be a Revhead's paradise, with cars competing across a number of categories.
There's Motorcana, Power Skids, Go to Woe, the big Burnout comp, which is fantastic. We've even got a Summer Nats judge from Canberra.
Burnout King Gary Myers has made the trip, excited by what Whyalla has to offer.
Throughout Australia, there's not too many Burnout comps under lights, so yeah, it's just a different atmosphere.
A highlight will be this 1966 Ford Mustang named Sicko. It's driven by Gary's son Jake, who was crowned National Burnout Champion at the famed Summer Nats event earlier this year.
That car there actually just, it's #1 in Australia at the moment.
John Hunt, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break, a preview into this weekend's cricket final actions, and we'll have all the weather details with Britt. Welcome back. Now it's time to hear from our local tipsters around the region ahead of this weekend's cricket finals action.
Welcome to the grand final edition of Port Pirie Cricket, with Wandeera taking on Solly North in the big one at Port Oval this Saturday. Solly North started this season with 5 straight wins, only to be reeled in by Wandeera, who come into this match on a 10-game winning streak. Both captains' performances will have big bearings on the outcome of this match, with Solly North's Ben Brown and Wandeera's Matt Thornton, 2 of the best cricketers in our league. I'm looking forward to a great game and hopefully a tight finish. I'm tipping Wandeera.
G'day and welcome to another round of Port Augusta Cricket. Last week we had an unusual case where the game was called off due to the heat policy. Quorn were in a winning position, but unfortunately due to the rules, the match is going to have to start again on Saturday, and both sides, the match will start from scratch. This will give South Augusta a very good chance of winning. Unfortunately this week I'm going to go for South Augusta to beat Quorn. Yeah, so that's my tips.
Prelim final weekend in Whyalla Cricket. Last year's grand finalist North Whyalla will take on Rapina in a much anticipated clash. North will be looking to captain Dave Miller to lead from the front, while they'll be searching for runs from Atkinson and Quist to put on a competitive total. Rapina will be looking to SA country star Nathan Van Ekeren to hit with the bat and the ball, and with informed batsman Greg Fiebig to score a heap of runs. In what should be a close encounter, I'm going to tip Rapina in a close one.
Welcome to this week's Port Lincoln Cricket Tips. It's finals time here in Port Lincoln and it's such a great time of the year. First final is Southern Air and Todd River. Winner goes straight through to the grand final. Todd River got up last week to secure a second spot. Southern Air went down to Waybacks. Going to tip Southern Air to bounce back and get through to another grand final. And in the second game, it's played here on Sunday, 11:30, Tasmans versus Charlton. Some great games between these two teams throughout the year. Going to tip the Tasmans boys to take on Todd River in a prelim final the following week.
Broken cricket finals this weekend. North take on Central in the A-grade final. North been the dominant side all year, only having lost one game for the year. Central have found some form at the right end of the season. North have a class batting lineup. Their first 5 or 6 batsmen probably rank amongst the best batsmen in town, and I think they may eclipse an excellent season by taking out the A-grade final. In the B-grade final, Warriors take on North. Warriors have been the dominant side in that grade all season, and I think they should be too good for the Northerners in that game.
And time to take a look at what's happening in the weekend's weather. Here's Britt.
Thank you, Casey. It's been a warm and mostly sunny Friday. Port Augusta warming up to 35 today, Whyalla 33, Port Lincoln 27, Broken Hill 32, Port Pirie 34 and Adelaide 28. A band of mid to high level cloud passed over the region today with a high pressure system extending a ridge which will weaken over the weekend. On the waters, southerly winds tending southwesterly, seas to 1 metre, and sunrise is due at 7:12 tomorrow morning. We'll see partly cloudy skies tomorrow, a top of 39 for Port Augusta, Whyalla 34, Port Lincoln 29, Coffin Bay 27, Woodner 39, Corn 37, Broken Hill 35, Port Pirie 36, Clare and Cleeve both 33, Kadina 34. Similar conditions for Port Lincoln on Sunday with a cloudy start to next week. Cleeve 31 on Sunday, fine on Monday, but with the maximum dropping to 26. Woodner with highs in the late 20s Monday and Tuesday. Fine days ahead for Whyalla, 33 on Sunday, but down to 26 Monday and Tuesday. Port Augusta staying warm across the weekend, but dropping back to a top of 30 on Monday. Kadina 31 on Sunday, 26 on Monday. Port Pirie mostly fine, 34 on Sunday, 28 on Monday. Clare 31 on Sunday, down to the 20s to start the week. And Broken Hill 38 on Sunday, Monday 31. And that's it for me for today. Have a wonderful weekend and I'll see you next week.
Thanks for that, Britt. And that's the local news this Friday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.